Hello students, welcome to our latest update program. In this video, we will have a brief discussion on INS Mahe and the role that it is going to play in the Indian Navy. So the Indian Navy is going to commission INS Mahe, which is first of the series of 8 ASW-SWC, that is Anti-Submarine Warfare, Shallow Waters Craft. Please note this is a shallow water craft. We'll discuss this in detail later, but 8 ships are being built under the ASW-SWC, and this is first of the series of those 8 ships. INS Mahe is the first, which is going to be commissioned by the Indian Navy on 24th November 2025 at the Mumbai Dockyard. This has been built by Cochin Shipyard Limited. And an important point here is that this craft has been built under Atmanirbhar Bharat, in the direction of Atmanirbhar Bharat, because if we talk about the build of this ship, then at least 80% of the content which has been used to build this ship has been sourced or produced indigenously. That is why we are now showcasing self-reliance in the Navy sector also, in Indian Navy also. So it's a push towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision that we have over here. And this has been named after the historic coastal town of Mahe, which is at the Malabar coast. Now this also has a symbolic or a cultural significance because the crest of this ship, this features Urumi. Urumi is the flexible sword of Kalaripayattu. If you see this, this is Urumi, which is a whip sword used in Kalaripayattu, and this sword is known for its flexibility, for its agility, for its precision, its accuracy, etc. And all these are the characteristics of INS Mahe also. So this also has a symbolic significance or a cultural significance besides having the technological significance. So in order to understand the role that it is going to play in the Indian Navy and why is this so important, we must first look at the technical highlights. So the technical highlights over here are that it has a shallow water design. I told you it's a shallow water craft, which means it has a shallow draft. Now please note, shallow draft here means that the ship's only a small part of the ship is going to be beneath the water, which means it is largely going to float on the water. So it's going to help us where? In the coastal areas where the waters are shallow, because it is largely going to float on the water. It has a small draft. So the shallow waters or littoral areas, and these are the areas where most of the submarine ambush happens. Most of the submarines hide here, and also mines are laid here. So these areas get very difficult to navigate. There's a lot of noise in the background because merchant ships are also there, and fishing boats are also there. So there's a lot of noise on the surface. A lot of echo cluttering happens. So it's easier for all these submarines to hide and not be detected easily. So that is why it has a shallow draft over here. It can float on the surface, and it has a lot of other technical advancements which we will discuss here. But because of all these things, this is going to be highly beneficial in the coastal areas, in the shallow water area, in the littoral area that we have, where these submarines can go and easily hide. So it has a low acoustic signature, which means it is very difficult to detect this, and that is required for our stealth operations, because here it has to detect these submarines. It is required to be stealthy, so it has a low acoustic signature. Then there is a water jet propulsion, so it's very easy to maneuver the craft. It can go into tight turns, and it can navigate easily, so because it has a water propulsion system over here. And then there's advanced sonar. As I told you that there's a lot of echo cluttering that happens because there's a lot of surface noise there. There are merchant ships, then there are fishing boats, and other things are happening, and sound, it is also being reflected from the seabed. It is also being reflected from the surface, so a lot of echo is there. And for these crafts to basically detect the submarines, they'll have to clutter through the noise, and for that they require advanced sonar, which INS Mahe has. So INS Mahe will be able to help us in the littoral areas, in the coastal areas, because it has a shallow water design, it has a shallow draft, it has advanced sonar, it has water jet propulsion, because in the riverbeds also, where you do not have as deep as water as the ocean water, you can go and you can navigate those areas. It has flexibility, it has precision, it can be easily maneuvered. That is why it also has a cultural significance of Urumi. This is being compared with Urumi because of its flexibility, because of its agility, and because of its precision. So these are some technical highlights of INS Mahe, and strategically it is very important because now we'll be able to guard our coasts better, and then it is a push towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. We were not reliant on a lot of other countries for the technology that we have used in here. So this showcases that INS Mahe and Indian Navy, they are now moving towards self-reliance in Indian Navy. So that was all for this video. It is strategically important because of the high technological advancements that have been used in this ship, and because this has been built largely indigenously. So this becomes very important for our Indian Navy, and it's first of its kind because here we are talking about shallow waters. It is actually going to replace Abhay, which was our medium, largely for the medium depth, medium water corvettes. So INS Mahe is going to replace Abhay because now we have the technology to move in shallow waters, which are mostly unguarded because a lot of activities happen in the shallow waters and it's difficult to detect the submarines that go and hide in there. So that is why INS Mahe becomes very important for the Indian Navy. So that was all for this video. Now, as always, let us look at a practice question for prelims. With reference to anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft like INS Mahe, consider the following statements. 1. They are designed with a low acoustic signature to improve submarine detection capability. 2. They have a shallow draft that allows effective maneuvering in coastal and near shore waters. 3. They primarily operate in deep sea conditions beyond the continental shelf. Choose the correct statements. 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3, or none. Please attempt this question and provide your answers in the comment section. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.